having a problem with a couple of different pieces of software and a piece of hardware. I'm going to consolidate the issues as much as I can into one video. So initially I began with wanting to put physical DVDs from my collection onto an external hard drive so that I could access them more easily, similar to the way that one would access a streaming movie from, say, Netflix. Pretty straightforward. Found this software here, downloaded the free trial, worked like a charm, spent a fortune and bought the lifetime license for it. Very, very expensive. And then dragged out an old external drive that had a lot of material on it, but it was 2 terabytes. It was maybe 1/3 full, if that. And it is this right here. It's about 15 months old. And I started putting movies onto that. I've also purchased this, a brand new drive. As you can see, it's pretty much the identical model. Why I bought the identical model will be hilarious later. It was stupid. But at any rate, I need to show you this. So, that should be empty by now. But this is the old drive here, and it's totally unresponsive. It's dead. Now, it wasn't dead when I plugged it in and started using the Ripper software. Sorry, I don't know if I have a cold or COVID or what. It was working fine. Except when the movies played back, they didn't have a menu. I asked tech support for WinX for help. And the guy didn't explain anything to me. He just said, oh, try making an ISO instead. Well, they didn't really solve the problem. The problem was checkboxes. It read the disk and broke everything into a whole bunch of checkboxes. One was pre-checked, and somewhere in those checkboxes is the menu, subtitles, scene selection, etc. I figured that out eventually. The trouble is, it put everything onto this disk as I asked it to, and then the disk stopped working. Now, the disk never clicked, the disk never whirred, the disk never had a problem before I started putting movies onto it. I have a vague guess that maybe the software tried to put too much data on this external drive here and it got overloaded or something. I don't know. This should be completely empty. All right. Maybe this little sliver here is the formatting nonsense, but this is supposed to be a blank drive. At any rate, I've uninstalled this because in addition to destroying my external drive, it also started making my entire computer run very, very, very strangely. Whether this was on or off this piece of software, suddenly every button I clicked, I got a spinning blue circle that wouldn't go away. Nothing would launch. Well, that's not true. Everything was taking 5 or 6 minutes to launch. Rebooted the computer several times, ran a virus scan several times, no virus was found. Didn't solve the problem. Things like, for example, randomly, I decided I would open up the Windows Calculator application. Sorry about that, I can't help it with the coughing. And the calculator would not open. It just plain wouldn't launch. I had to restart the computer physically. The computer completely froze up. But once I got the computer running again, I took this WinX DVD Ripper Platinum completely off my computer. So at the moment, I'm not going to show you the problems that I was having with it, which I more or less figured out. I think I did. I think I know how to work it, but I don't trust it anymore. At any rate, so those are the 2 pieces of information you have. Let's close that. Now, then, in order to get the dead disk running, I went looking for some free software. I use all kinds of free software like OpenOffice and CCleaner and a bunch of other stuff. And it doesn't give me problems. Jesus fucking Christ. this bothers you to listen to, imagine what it feels like in my chest. So, I'm gonna have to pause this and take some fucking pills.